Happy New Year, everybody. Ah! It's Jenny Norris, IAHSP Chairwoman, and we are here today with another show for you. And so hopefully you guys all had a wonderful holiday season and Happy New Year. I feel like 2024 is going to be a really great year. I don't know why I feel that way, maybe because for a lot of people, 2023 was a bit of a struggle. But I feel good about 2024 moving in. And I usually feel really good about the first part of the year anytime we start a new year, because it's of new opportunities, fresh start, setting goals and so forth that you are going to achieve throughout the year. So anyway, I always enjoy New Year for those reasons. And anyway, welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in. We are streaming to 3 different locations. So if you do comment, please let us know who you are, because we can't see your names. So let us know who you are as you comment. So whoever just commented, say, hey, everybody. Anyway, we've got a great show for you. I'm going to do a few announcements before we bring on our special guest. And today we have the privilege of having Brandon T. Adams, who's one of our keynote speakers at our conference in Las Vegas. And he is a business coach. He specializes in marketing and branding and video and production. And so I can't wait for you to hear from him in Las Vegas. You're going to meet him here today and get a little taste of what he's going to talk about. So it'll be really great. So our conference, of course, is in Las Vegas. It is, here we go, January 26th, 27th, and 28th. And the hotel that we are recommending people stay at, you're not required to stay there, is the Strat. And they do have a special room rate for us. And so it's on the IAHSP ConEXPO site. If you go there, you'll be able to see the hotel information. You have to call them to make the reservation versus doing it online. And of course, if you'd like to stay somewhere else, that's fine. There just aren't shuttles running from the hotels to market. And so you will have to get transportation. We are supposed to be getting hopefully a Lyft code instead of Uber Lyft to give to our members to be able to get them back and forth to market. So look for that in an email for everybody who's registered. And let's see here. These are some of the speakers that we have coming. We've added more since this graphic was made, but we're really excited. The topics are all online. The agenda is listed for you. So you can see exactly what we're going to be covering, from everything from talking about the real estate market to marketing and branding with Brandon, as I talked about, trends. We're going to have a thing on collaboration and how to build a team. We will have topics that relate to business growth, financial strategies to help fund your growth. So there's a lot that we are covering, and you won't want to miss it, because this is a great time to attend a conference. The first part of the year, get motivated, get excited, and then put into practice what you learn in the sessions. And we'll talk about that when Brandon comes on, because his session in particular is a unique one that we haven't done this format before, but I'm really excited for it. And then, of course, we have Kevin Harrington, who is our business keynote, and he will be speaking on the 27th. So Brandon speaks on the 26th, Kevin speaks on the 27th, and his session will be all about, business growth, sales, closing the sale, your value, your worth, and growing your business. And he, of course, is a very successful business entrepreneur, and we have his information on the site as well. So don't forget to get your tickets. The prices went up January 1st, but there are some offers we can give to you if you reach out to us. And obviously, if you have a team, we also have team pricing. So the more people you bring, the less it is to bring them. And I did want to give a shout out. It is our 25th anniversary this year. 25th anniversary. IAHSP was started in 1999. So this is our 25th year, and we will be having different celebratory offers and events and so forth throughout the year, because it's a big milestone. We are the oldest and longest running and largest trade association for the home staging, real estate, and design industries in the world. And for those of you that don't know, we're in over 26 countries. We have our sister association, IAHSP, which is the European Association of Home Staging Professionals. So they cover Europe. And then the rest of the world, if you will, is managed by our association. So we have South America on the grow, South Africa, Japan, Australia, New Zealand is interested in establishing chapters for country chapters. And really anywhere anybody lives, if you want support, if you want to be part of an association that helps you support your growth, provides resources for you, and also comes alongside you to help you go through challenges and so forth. Check out IAHSP. It's we call it your home in the home staging industry. All right. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring our guest today on. So Brandon, it should give you a countdown. Hello.
Hello.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So for people who don't know who you are, go ahead and introduce yourself and let people know your background.
Yeah. Well, thank you first. Happy New Year. I'm excited, really excited about the 25th anniversary. I know you're just talking about that. It's pretty impressive, and congrats on 25 years. So for my background, born and raised in Iowa. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. I started in the ice business. I sold packaged ice for a living. Eventually went on to invent a product called Arctic Stick. And I always share that story because that was kind of my first learning endeavor and taking a product to market. Learned marketing, I learned pitching, all that stuff. And that led me down a path to becoming a crowdfunding expert. So I was helping people raise money for products, inventions, companies, you name it. Fast forward, I took my crowdfunding expertise, my storytelling, video production expertise, and I built a company called Accelerate Media Group, where we build and scale brands. So done some TV shows, we've launched different documentaries, we've filmed all over the country, we've worked with very influential people and helping them build their brand. And I'm excited about sharing some of this today, but also at the event on how you can build a personal brand, how you can leverage a brand to generate extra revenue streams, and how to grow your success in life, and also how to tell your story effectively. Because in 2024, we live in a world where you need to tell your story. Your story is what people buy into, beyond just, obviously, you got to provide great products and services. People buy into you. So that's me in a nutshell. BTA in the house. I'm stoked to talk with you today.
And you live in Tennessee now, right? Are you in Nashville?
I am in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. I'm overlooking Broadway as we speak. And I am here, this musical city. It's a great place.
I love Nashville. We were there 2019 for our conference and held it at the Gaylord. And then
great place.
It was really fun. So we had an opportunity to go downtown and see some of the honky tonks, and it has a really good vibe, but it's not a massive city, so you don't feel like you're going to get too lost. So
that's what I love about it. It is. They start calling it Nash Vegas because a lot of people come here. It's almost building out like a Vegas, but I like this city.
Good. Well, and so you touched on something that we had talked about, I think, last week, talking about you coming on the show, but the branding, people mostly think about their company. So I am my company. And so I'm going to work on branding my company, and everything is about my company and so forth. And they forget you take a totally different approach. It's not about the company. The company is an extension of you. So talk about that mind shift.
Yeah, there's two sides of this. Your company has its own brand, and that's one thing. But you as a person, you are, yes, a person that's part of that company brand, but you still have your own personal brand. A lot of people, you look at when you sell a company, you transition, and after that company's gone, you're somebody else. So what is it about you that people are going to really track to? So your personal brand is important, not only to help grow your business brand, the business revenue, but for you and more opportunity. And as you grow and you get more opportunities and you transition in your career, if you have a personal brand, it makes it easier to do that transition. It makes it easier to make more money, makes it easier to get more opportunity. And maybe you build a whole business in itself, and maybe just educating others, speaking, podcasting, all these different things. So we live in a world, Gary Vee will talk about this, I talk about this, where you need a personal brand, because there's so much noise outside. There's so much noise on social media. So many people saying, look at me for this, our company does this, that. Well, you have a unique talent and you have a unique story. And what makes you different than everybody else is who you are and your story. You think about anybody watching right now, how many times have you bought a product or a service because you knew somebody and you believed in them? You bought into them. They obviously got to create a great product and service, and it's got to deliver. But there's a million experts. There's a million experts in video production. There's a million experts in all different industries. But what makes you different than everybody else, beyond giving a great product service, is you and your story. People buy into stories. Heck, I've been down in retail outlets before, walked down the aisle and checked out a product, and they told a brief story around it. I bought into the story, the emotion behind it. So
Right.
when you think about your personal brand, and we're going to go over this in Vegas, we're going to go through how do you tell your story, what different parts do you share, what do you not share, and then how do you take that and actually turn that into opportunity for your business. But you got to really think about you as a person. A lot of people don't want to share that, Jenny. They're for one, they're afraid to share their story, or they don't know how to go about it.
Right. Or maybe they feel like something in their background is um, not pertinent. And so it's like we talked about this last week with Lori. You know, people sometimes think like you set up a business, whatever it is. So I'll use home staging because that's our niche here. So you
Yeah,
set up a home staging company and you feel like you just got plopped, like you just dropped out of the sky on the day that you started your company. And that's where you begin. And that's not true. It's your whole back history, because you
yeah,
can use that for your marketing and branding. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Don Hobbs. He had a company
yeah.
called
I know
Hobbs
Don.
Twitter. Yeah,
Yeah,
Don. And so I somebody on a plane that was one of his trainers. This was years ago, and that was the first time I really learned about the personal branding and how they would wrap their marketing strategy for real estate agents around something the realtor was passionate about. And he gave me several examples, and I thought that's really fascinating, and it was very ahead of its time. And so here we are, as you said, 2024. That personal brand. There's people that will relate to one person but not another, and
yeah,
I have taught about how if people think that they're going to appeal to every single person who's a potential client, that's going to work, you're fooling yourself. And if you water yourself down so you're like a blob of oatmeal, then there's nothing interesting about you. So whatever your background is, use it to your advantage. And I think the challenge for people is to figure out how to do that, and that's where you come in.
it is. You think about it, like you're not going to cater to everybody. There's
Right.
some people, they hear my story and they're not going to resonate and they're never going to work with me, and that's fine. But for the people that do resonate with me, because I'm sharing my story and I'm consistently doing it, the same story over and over and over again, that's what really builds a brand, because it's branded into people's minds. And then they remember it, they think of you, and then they know to go to you. And yeah, I mean, that is what we're going to go over in Vegas. We're going to go through the step process, all of it. I mean, authenticity is a big thing too.
Yeah.
Just being you. Like, so many people want to be something they're not, to try to show this, oh, this is who I am, and they think that other people are going to go to them because they portray this different scene. No, if you actually just be the real yourself, I mean, watch what you say sometimes. I mean, I personally am really just blunt and share who I am, and maybe cuss time to time, but that's what makes me. I'm an Iowa boy that started in the ice business, and I really, when I say something, I'm going to do it, and I just love helping other people through my story, but also by actually delivering real value, real tangible things that people can implement.
And I love the authenticity too, because it's funny, because in our industry, there hasn't been a lot of visibility of professional home stagers in media outside of like even the shows. They'll show,
Yeah,
the stager coming down the ramp and maybe karate chopping a pillow, but there's not a whole lot that shows the real work that goes behind the scenes. And to my knowledge, there's only, actually, I think there's 2 movies now. There was one that Amy Adams was in where she plays a home stager, but she's got the stiletto heels and she's like walking around, and she was more like designer. And then there was
yeah,
some like Hallmark Christmas movie that came out and the character was a stager, and so there's like a competition for houses, and again, she was not dressed like we would normally dress. So I wouldn't dress like this to go to a staging. And there's been times when I think it's actually a relief sometimes to clients. They assume that we're going to come in and be kind of like judgy and snotty, and then when we're doing an appointment, and I let them know we're coming from a staging, so our hair will be messy. We're in our staging work clothes. I said, so I'm just going to forewarn you that we're not going to be all glammed up. And they're like, oh, thank God, because I've been working in my house and I'm sweating. And so it's almost like a relief, because they realize that
yeah.
we're normal. So, but I think it's hard for people to figure out who they are authentically. And you're right. They want to portray themselves differently online. Um,
Well, they
I,
also
yeah,
they also think, Jenny, is like, they think that nobody's going to care about their story and it doesn't matter and it's not pertinent to what they're doing. Well, I'm almost always going to disagree to them. There's obviously certain things, maybe it's not the right time to share, but I mean, I'll give you a great example. This comes to mind. Our mutual friend, Jonathan Miller, how he even got connected with me is he was following my journey on social media back, I think, 2019. And he was watching my journey. He saw me on some of my videos when I was on the Think and Go Rich tour. And he connected with me and he just said, "Hey, I grew up in Tennessee. You grew up in Iowa. We had this kind of small town, just kind of mentality we've had and growing up. And I just can relate with your background." And that connection led to a great friendship and, well, led to me speaking to you today. And so it just shows that when you do share your background, really who you are, there's so many other people out there that are going to connect with you on a deeper level, emotional connection. And then once they actually know what you do, then they're going to go to you for that, or they're going to refer somebody to you. So that's
Right.
really the power of just being you.
And whatever your hobbies are or passions, so if somebody likes travel or they like cats or dogs or whatever it is, it's
Yeah,
sort of like people will hire you for the weirdest reasons, because
they will.
she has that whatever it is, and so I like her or him. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I'll use two examples if I can remember the second one because I was thinking about it. Deborah Plowden, so she's out of the Houston area, and so she has a military background. So she's used her military background in her
Yeah.
marketing as part of her brand. And so because of that, other people who have been in service or are currently in service, if they see that, that might be the determining factor that gives her the business over somebody else, so you just never know
Sure.
what might be in your background that appeals to somebody. And then is the reason that they select you or feel that they can trust you. Because I was saying this to a client recently. He came to our Happy New Year party, and it's I think I've seen him in person 3 times, and we've worked probably 8 years. And he's now a client of my husband and son who are realtors. So now the other family members are involved. But I was telling him, I
Yeah.
said, I don't meet 95% of my clients. I never meet them face to face. They're either moved away. I'm doing it all through email and thing. And I thought the trust that they have to give me their financial information, to pay for things, to allow me to go into their properties. It's pretty astounding when you think about it, that everything's being done and they've never met me. So what I have online then better be something that compels them to know that, okay, this is a person that is trustworthy, that we know is going to go do a good job. So I think that the whole image thing is really important, and not trying to hijack somebody else's image, because you said that earlier. People think they should be like somebody else, but you can't, because that person's taken.
100%. And you look at, don't get me wrong, when you're starting out and you're looking at other influential people to model in your industry or even outside your industry, you think of the different traits they have and what they do that you can do in your own way. But yet you still need to be you. Like, you still need to have your own unique thing. You think of like a Michael Jackson when he created his whole thing, he had the glove and all that, like that became him. If
Right.
somebody else did that, it wouldn't make sense at all. So find your own you. I learned this a long time ago. My mentor, he branded himself as Cactus Jack Behringer. His name was Jack Behringer, but Cactus Jack Behringer is what he named himself. And he grew out his hair and he wore a cowboy hat and a cowboy suit, and he branded himself as a cowboy. And that was his shtick that he did on infomercials. And he did tens of millions of dollars in the 90s on infomercials. But he became that person, and that's what he became known for. Now, I didn't go that route. I just went the all black route, and that's what I've been doing for 5 years, and just being me. So, like, what is your unique thing? And just know you're not going to find it right away. It took me years to find, okay, my thing. But once you find it, that's what you become known as, and it's brand recognition. And so, find you,
Well,
find
and
you.
I love it. I don't know if you said this on a video that I saw or discussion, but you're really smart, because your outfit even is something that is
Yeah,
timeless. So,
yeah,
which is really true, because sometimes, when you look back at videos, whether it's hairstyles or whatever it is, you can see people look dated, but you never will. Your videos will be consistent, because you've purposely made sure that your outfit is not, it doesn't scream like, oh, that was the 80s, or you know what I mean? And so I think that's really
same
smart.
thing.
That's something, yep, that's really smart.
Makes life easy too when you're traveling. So you just know, I got 20 of these pairs of jeans and 30 of these t-shirts and two
It's not
jackets. Which one am
fair.
I going to pick?
It's not fair. So we went to Europe recently. My husband and I, we were there 29 days. So, you need to have a lot of clothes. And for me, we were speaking at 4 different conferences, so I could not be an outfit repeater for any of those. I could have the base was the same, but I had to wear different layers. And so we had 6 suitcases and 3 like super large ones, 2 medium and 1 medium and 2 small. And it was sort of comical watching us, going throughout Europe and the looks we would get. But I don't think it's fair because one suitcase probably had my hair product, makeup, all the female stuff. And the guys, you just put on an outfit, you do your hair, and then you get to go.
Yeah.
So you do get to travel lighter. That is definitely for
Yeah.
sure. So at our conference, we're going to do, let's going to talk about the framework of that. So it's going to be kind of a workshop, because what I had wanted was for attendees to actually physically have to do something during your session. So they're actually taking action on the recommendations, versus how many of us have gone to a seminar, you listen, you take notes, oh my gosh, that's so good. And then you set the notebook aside or you get distracted and nothing ever gets implemented. So I really wanted them to implement things. And so let's talk about the structure and how that's going to go.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. This is going to be very powerful. And this is for what I'm going to be sharing is around building the brand, but also monetizing the brand. And then thinking of different ways beyond whether you're in real estate, you're in home staging, beyond just in your own like niche, your regular way of making money. I'm going to open you up to different ways you've probably never even seen before. And it's really exciting because there's probably some easy revenue streams, literally just a few tweaks that you can make that you can do with your current business. So I'm going to walk through that. We're going to walk through all the branding, different techniques, the marketing strategies. From video content will be one of them, sharing how you share on video, what you say on camera, what you do that with that on social media. We'll talk about some podcasting strategies, going on podcast shows, how to multi-purpose that content. Talk about hosting events. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a big event like this, but it could be small gatherings. Some of the biggest opportunities over the years that I've had came from 5 or 10 person meetup events where connections were made. It led to an opportunity. We'll talk about some very strategic paid advertising opportunities, how we've done ads that have scaled companies where they're spending $50,000 to $100,000 a month in ads, going from zero spend to great spend, and how you can use that to scale a company. A lot of things too I share talks about how you can actually raise money through, it goes back to my crowdfunding days, from crowdfunding and raising money from different causes or campaigns. It came back to a story, came back to the strategic video assets that we created, the stories we told, and then creating a compelling offer that got people to buy. And so you think about in your own business and home stage or any industry, how can you create a unique story and offer to get more people to buy from you? So we'll go through all that. We're going to walk through the different steps. And then the very exciting part I love about this is then afterwards, we're going to do a whole panel discussion as well. We're going to do a discussion with past success stories of people that have been working with me, and now we're doing some amazing things, from home staging to real estate to authors. And I'm going to have them share the very specific things that they do, because they are success stories and they're doing it themselves. So not only are you hearing from me, but you're hearing from people from different industries that are doing it today, and they're going to be sharing how they do it. So then you get different kind of examples to relate with, because some of the things you might relate with this person more than you relate with this person. So all that tied up into a whole session, and it's going to be powerful. I guarantee you, when you come to this, make sure you get your tickets. When you're there, it's going to open your mind. And when we get done, this happens every time, Jenny. People will come up to me and be like, dude, I never even thought about it doing it that way. And they're going to have a bunch of ideas, and we're going to have some huge success stories just from people that attended this event. So that's the part I love the most about doing this.
Yeah, I love seeing that too, when they see it come to fruition, or the aha moment when the light bulb literally goes like on in their head. You can kind of, and when you're a speaker, you look at, you can kind of see like the thing, like people are either like thinking like in their mind, like they might be doing this, but they're actually thinking like, I never thought of it. They might be going, wow, so you see the light bulb go on. And for those of you that are coming to the conference too, on Friday night, we're going to do a VIP event with Brandon and Lori. So that will be a separate ticketed event, and we're going to be sending that out soon. But we're going to go someplace fun. You get some one-on-one time with them. Anytime that you can get around somebody who is a success-driven coach, marketing person, they're successful in their own endeavors and so forth. Anytime you can get around somebody and be able to have that one-on-one, it's so valuable. So
It
that'll be a thank you for agreeing to do that with us, and I think that's going to be really fun
You
too.
just never know what could go too. I love breaking bread with people, and some of the biggest opportunities have come from just doing dinners. I've been doing dinners like this, VIP dinners all over the country. And when you get that extra time to have a conversation, and for me, I get to learn more about people. And so, I'm always looking for more opportunities to help people, but get involved. There's been dinners where we've had where people we turn around and turn into multiple seven-figure businesses just from a conversation because something clicked. And so my whole philosophy in life, I always wanted to get around people that were way further than me and had success in different areas that I have. And what did I do? I attended events like this. I paid to be at dinners. I was in proximity of these people. Not only did I learn all in proximity, but because I was on that person's radar, they remembered me, which meant there was follow-up conversation. So think not just this event, think about how this event and these conversations could lead to a catapult of success for you in 2024. And so that's what I'm looking for. And I'm stoked to meet people in person.
Well, and one of my things I always say is people will lead you to people who need you. So you're
Yeah.
right. A conversation, with somebody who's successful, you just never know where that connection might be. And when you make an impression on somebody, and they may not have that opportunity right then, but then when it pops up somewhere else, they're going to remember you. And so I just feel like the connection is so important, and being able to take that time to hang out with colleagues and also get around people who are successful. I think is it Zig Ziglar who was the one that said to be successful, you must first help other people become successful. And then who is it that said, you need to get around people that are the same mindset and so forth, that kind of analogy. I've heard like who you're going to be 5 years from now is who you hang around with, the books you read, the things you watch, and that affects your mindset.
It's so true. Kevin, which I know Kevin Harrington is one of the speakers as well, a good friend, business partner of mine. And Kevin, huge advocate of Zig Ziglar. He actually bought the rights to the name years ago.
Oh,
And I think the Zig Ziglar, I think it goes, if you help enough people get what they want in life, you will achieve more things. I'm murdering right now. You help enough people get what they want in life, and you'll get what you want in life.
right.
And the whole concept is it's true. If you bring enough value to enough people, especially very strategic people in industries, that was the start of my career. I helped very influential people in industries, and I knew if I helped them, it would lead to a lot more business. And so help enough people and enough will come to you and bring massive value to the world. And goes like one of the things I'm going to share at the event too is I'm going to share different strategies of how you can help people in massive ways, in small ways that will actually bring more business your way. Give you a great example. Personal videos. Little quick tip for everybody. Sending personal videos with your phone and sending them to people via text and building that connection. That strategy alone has led to so many opportunities, because think about how many people send you a personal video. Not many. But if you understand how to look good in front of the camera and what to say, and you send personal videos to leads or people that have worked with you before, that's going to lead to more business. So how can you bring value to people? How can you make people smile? How can you make them laugh? How can you build rapport with them? Which means, again, they like you, they trust you, and they eventually want to do business with you.
Yeah, and I love that. It's instead of being the attitude of I'm going to take and make myself
Yeah.
successful, it's by giving. So instead of taking, your giving to other people, and then in return that enhances your success. So I always like that approach, because there's plenty of businesses out there that they don't really care about whether or not we're successful. They just want to sell things or make money. And so that the approach of, especially in our industry, because we are a people industry, we make house calls as
Yeah.
stagers and designers. We've been invited into people's homes. And so we are dealing with people and wanting to help them achieve their success. Do you think about, we're impacting sellers, real estate agents on both sides, and buyers, and the market in general. So, when a house sells faster and for more, then it benefits everybody. So I feel like that we are in a business where we're helping people achieve their goals. That's ultimately what we're in business for. And I know it's to make the houses look fabulous and so forth, but ultimately the goal is that success for the client. So, I am really excited to have you there, and Brandon will be sharing on I'm trying to get my dates right, the 26th, which is the first day of conference, and he's going to be in the afternoon. So past conferences we've done breakout sessions, and those have always been really valuable. We have people share certain topics, but this one I really felt you needed more time than just 45 minutes or an hour.
Yeah.
And being able to take advantage of your background. So I thank you again for agreeing to do
I'm
that.
excited, and as we're talking, and I'm just looking, it's 3 weeks from today.
I
Like,
know.
it's people need to get their tickets because this is,
Yeah.
for one, it's in Vegas, going to be a great time. There's a lot of opportunities, but it's going to be stacked upon stacked. I know there's so many great speakers. What I'm going to teach you on that Friday, 3 weeks from today, on the 26th, it is going to give you so many different ideas on terms of building the brand, sharing your messaging, sharing your authentic self, and then also monetizing that. And then what do you get the next day? You get a shark who's taken 22 companies now to over $100 million.
Wow.
He was one of the guys behind Celsius, the energy drink that some of you may be drinking right now. Now it's a $13 billion market cap company. And then he's going to share what he's learned around scaling companies, raising capital, getting capital you need to grow your company, unique ways to sell. I mean, a legend, the guy that has taught me a lot of things that I know. So you're going to get this bonus factor. This day, you're going to learn so much. Next day, and it keeps growing. By Saturday night at that event, with the awards and everything happening, you're going to be on cloud nine, and you're going to be like, okay, I'm ready to conquer the world now. And maybe you've made some extra deals while all that was happening, but trust me on this. You need to be at this event. I am super excited about this, Jenny. And the fact that it's the 25th anniversary, I am grateful and honored to be a speaker because that is not easy. 25 years to have an event. I mean, I put on events all over the country, hundreds of events. And one event I had, it's going on, I think, 7 or 8 years and going. And 25 years, that's a whole nother level. So congrats. That is amazing. The fact that we can all come together and celebrate and get some value in the process. I'm super excited just talking about it.
Well, and so thinking about like the attendees, so somebody talk directly to somebody who's a new business owner. Why do they need to come?
I mean, it's 2024, and you may be thinking, let's talk about specifically storytelling, branding, marketing. It's 2024, and more than ever before in history, does your story and your brand matter? And if you don't have a presence online, you should be scared because we live in a digital world where if you want to grow the business, you need to get more people to know you. It's eyeballs. The eyeballs is the goal. How can you get people's eyeballs? But how can you get them to stay watching you? And how can you actually get those eyeballs to turn into pressing a button and sending a direct message or following up and going to your website and turning them into customers? And so those are the specific things I'll be sharing about how you share your message, about how you build this line on this brand online, and the actual hacks, the digital hacks that most people won't talk about that you can utilize to your advantage. And by the way, costs you nothing to be able to get out there and get seen by more people with little to no ad spend at all. And then how can you uniquely get them to want to reach out to you versus you have to reach out to them? So these are all the things we're going to go over. And again, I'm going to give you the actual things, how you make the money through it. Like if you're watching right now and you're thinking, okay, I want to grow my home staging business, real estate business. I want to bring in at least 7 figures next year. Great. This is going to show you all that. But also, if you're that person that wants to understand how to make some side income, maybe a $10,000, $20,000 or even more speaking gig opportunities, or maybe you want to sell some online education, sell your knowledge, heck, maybe even want to launch a book. These are all different things I'm going to go over. And it's not stuff that I'm talking in theory. I'm talking that I've done myself, but also I've done some of the biggest launches in history with some of the biggest names. And so you're going to hear the things that not everybody gets to hear. And I'll share with your group because, for one, Jenny, you're bringing us in, and I'm friends with a couple of people that are part of this group. So when friends bring me in, I share it all. And better believe, beyond coming to that, you better come to that dinner. I don't know if did we limit the seats to the dinner, Jenny? How many seats are we doing?
There will be a limit. I'm waiting to hear back from the restaurant how many they can accommodate. But yeah, so there will be a limited amount of space. So people are not
And
going to
for
want
those
to.
that come to that, I'm going to have a special bonus. I'm not going to tell you. It's got to have trust the process. But for those of you that are in that room, you're going to get a bonus. So you won't want to miss it. Don't do the FOMO.
That's right, exactly. FOMO. And I love what you said. The getting to the event is so important. So let's say that I'm a seasoned business owner, stager, whatever, and I'm thinking like I've been to all these events. This is always the same thing. I don't need to go. What would you say to that person?
I would say this: you're thinking small and you're becoming plateaued. You're becoming comfortable, being too comfortable. And the greatest success happens outside of your comfort zone, getting your ass off the couch and going to that event. And I will tell you this, that this will probably be, if you're coming for sure, if you're coming to my session, this will be one of the best experiences you've ever had. I will guarantee that. I know this from every event that I do, that people are just like wowed by it, because the kind of material I've been sharing for years. And now it took me a long time to orchestrate this kind of content that I'm going to be sharing with you. But I'll tell you this, come. And if for some reason you're not happy with it, you let me know. I'll make sure to make it right with you. But I guarantee you it's going to be worth it. And opportunities come when you go after it. It's 2024. This is who this event is not for. If you're just looking to ride on the wave and not grow this year, and you just want to stay where you're at and you want to fall behind and make it a hobby of what you do, don't come. But if you're actually serious about being the best you in business, or just as a person and building a real brand online, you're serious about what you want to do this year, what better way than to come to this? 3 weeks from today, you're still in January, you have momentum for the rest of the year. You can apply this in Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Next year, a year away from the event, you're going to be glad that you came to this one.
Absolutely. And I love what you said, plateau, because people think like if you're not learning and advancing, you're falling backwards. You're stagnant, like you
You're
said. And so,
dying.
yeah. And so coming and learning and being part of getting around, just getting around like-minded, excited people who are focused on moving forward versus, staying in your pity pot, or just being like, okay, I'm fine where I am, and not advancing yourself. And again, as you said, there's people that's not their goal. However, those of you that are on the fence and thinking like, should I go or shouldn't I go? I've attended every single conference. I've never missed one. And every time I go, I learn something that I hadn't thought about, or it reminds me of something that I learned before. And it's getting around the other people, because your colleagues are the ones that will help sustain you through a lot of the challenges. And so all of that is wrapped up into one package. And
And you might
having,
find a new business partner. That's the thing
yeah,
too. This is why I love events, is because I might be meeting a future business partner that we go and create this next new company together. I mean, that's the part that's most exciting. Beyond the education, you just don't know who you're going to walk into, and so who knows? Maybe myself or any other speakers, we're looking for opportunities to grow together.
yeah, absolutely. And the conferences, as you guys hopefully know, everybody watching, home staging, interior design, and real estate. Any of the topics that people are sharing on can be applied to any business. It's not just specific to home staging. And being able to take away and put into practice what you're going to learn. Brandon, you have such good energy, and I know you on stage. I've seen some of the pictures. I'll list for this. I get this one to show on the stream without chopping off the head. Okay, that's good. So, I mean, I love the smoke. I don't know if we'll be able to have dry ice for you, but
That
I'm sure
was
you
a
have
good one.
what's your theme song? What do you like to come out to?
Yeah, well, I will. It'll be a surprise when you guys see it when we're in Vegas. But I will tell you what I've came out to before. I've came
Okay.
out to NF, but I've also come out to "Till I Collapse" by Eminem, which is pretty intense. If you've been to one of the events before, and this one you showed before, smoke, music blaring, everything. In the first 90 seconds of the talk, you will be like, "What is happening?"
And then, which is great too, is that I'm really excited because yesterday they let us know that the space in the B building, which is on the 16th floor, it's a really nice, large space. And Ashley Furniture had secured it, and they always tie it up for the market, and they weren't releasing it even though they weren't using it. And so they just released it. So we get to be back in that
Oh,
space versus,
wow.
so it'll be a much bigger space. We'll be able to do a lot
Awesome.
more in there versus where they were going to have us. So maybe we can do the lights and the smoke. You just never know when we might be able to come over.
I'm in.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you so much for being here. We are going to have a special show next Thursday where Kevin Harrington is going to be on from 9 o'clock to 9:20. We get exactly 20 minutes. We're going to make good use of that. And then on the Fridays, we're doing 2 in a row. Luis Santiago and Mitch Bage will be with the special guests, and they are speaking on short-term rental. So we really appreciate having you, Brandon. Those of you that have tuned in, thank you so much. Well, this video will be available on our YouTube channel, our Home Staging Talk website, and all over social media. Any last words?
I would say this: if you're on the edge, just do it. Action is what gets you results. Ideas, you come up with ideas, but without action, they mean nothing.
Right.
Get your tickets. Join us in Vegas. We'll see you in 3 weeks, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
See you guys.